Hey guys, welcome back to the DX Gamer Show and my Stardrive Let's Play for Thursday, April 25th, 2013. My name is OperationDx, and this is episode 2. Let's go ahead and do a short recap on what happened during the last episode to move us into this next episode. So, we basically restarted our Stardrive Let's Play for the reasoning of we wanted to improve the quality of the video, so that way you guys can make this full screen set it to 1080p and it looks like you're actually playing the game for yourselves. Next, we met 4 of the 5 races that we are going to encounter during this Let's Play, and they are the Dreylock Council, the Conquest Collective, which we actually formed a non-aggression pact with, the Volfrin Imperium, the wolf pig type guys, and the Relay Devoted, the Cthulian type race. We've managed to pick up some very powerful artifacts along our travels in our mission to deny artifacts to the other races, and pretty much what do you want, Cortrazine? Oh, trade treaty. Absolutely, we will do that for sure. Okay, so the artifacts we picked up was the Spice of the Sleeper, which gives us a 10% bonus to our ground combat and 10% to our research empire-wide. We also managed to pick up the Ascension Crystal, which gives us a 10% research bonus, and that I think stacks with the other one, so we're at a 20% research bonus. We've also managed to pick up a whole bunch of drone ships. These were anomalies that appeared to be crash ships on the planet, but turned out to be full operational ships with more advanced technology than I can actually build right now, and they have shields, which gives us a huge bonus here in the beginning, and it looks like I'm having trouble finding one of them. And that's basically what I'm doing there. I'm looking at the ship screen so I can find them, because I believe I'm assigning them all into a group. So right now we're just basically assigning the first group. Basically you can select them all, pretty much standard like any RTS game. You can hit Control 1 and assign them, but of course we're going to want to go into the fleet screen and kind of design our fleets. We'll see that a little bit later on. And that pretty much brings us up to speed from the last episode, and what we're going to do in the first parts of this second episode is we're going to go ahead and we're going to form up our second group. We're basically going to take the fighters I started building in the very beginning of the game, and we're going to assign them into a control group, the second group, and basically what we can do is we can do these nice little fleet designs. So we're going to go into the fleet screen here, and we're going to go ahead and go select the units that we have already produced, and we can basically drag them onto a grid here and form a nice neat looking fleet, and you can organize them, and it's pretty cool. And I love this system in the game. This is another one of my favorite parts of Stardrive. It's not quite like other games. You can do this kind of thing in some other games, but not quite like this. I remember Sword of the Stars kind of has a nice one that you can lay things down in a 3-dimensional grid, but I really like the way it works in this particular game. Another really nice thing about this system is how your ships can get replaced. So if this fleet gets damaged and I lose a whole bunch of ships, I can just go back into the screen, select the second group here, hit requisition, and any available planet with open production will produce that ship, and then it'll immediately take off and join up with the fleet, and I love that. I haven't seen anything quite like it in any 4X game to date. And you've probably guessed at this point, with the formation of our first and second combat group, we're gonna head off and do some battle with the guardians of one of the systems to capture my very first high-tier, high-grade planet. So if you missed it during my talking here, basically we identified we have a high-end planet right next to my home system, and we're going to go ahead and form up here. We've got a colony ship in the rear end, we've got 2 form groups, and we're basically about to engage the Guardians and take that system over so that we can get started outclassing the AI with research and production, and basically getting our empire up to speed here. But just before we begin the combat, we're just double checking on our scouts and troops and making sure we're not missing any important anomalies as we start to begin our combat, because we want to take a second here and just watch things unfold as we attack the Guardians in this system. So what I like to do is get the slower group up into position, and they usually enter combat first, and then my second faster group, the fighters, will drop in on the combat as the main ships are usually engaging. That's what I like to do. And if I'm going to capture the planet in the engagement, I usually set a colony ship right behind here. You can see the ship with the flag above it behind my first and second group is just sitting there in preparation to take the planet as I destroy all of the enemy guardians. Normally, I would have had to build 2 very large fleets of fighters, but because we were super aggressive on the anomalies, unlocked all those super powerful early on ships with the shields, we're going to be able to dominate in this fight. Now, there are sometimes fights can go badly, especially with your bigger ships, and you want to save your big ships if they're taking too much damage. So you really want to kind of watch them as they take damage, and if they do take too much damage, you're going to want to go ahead and get him out of the fight, and hopefully his engines weren't damaged. And here we go, we are in battle. So during this confrontation, I basically want to watch my main ship that has that long kind of laser there. That's the ship you started with, and that one is the most likely one to go down in a fight. It's the most susceptible to damage as it doesn't have quite the armor and shields that the other true drone ships that do actually appear smaller. They're actually a little more powerful. We're not too concerned about our fighters. We can lose those and replace those all day long. Another thing that can happen here is you can take direct control over your ship. Okay, so the final race that we've encountered there is the polyps, and it's kind of funny how that always happens, like when you're in combat and you always get like interruptions. That always seems to happen to me. So even though we're sending our packs of fighters off to fight one of the bigger ships on their own, as long as you have enough of them, you can take them out. Although there are a couple of nasty ships in this pack, and we would have needed a lot more of starter fighters if we didn't get those cruisers. But because we have those cruisers, we're basically going to be able to take things down. And now I've paused the fight, and I'm basically going to send my colony ship to the planet of interest, and we're going to try to take that over. Hopefully one of the races don't lay claim to this system, or I'm going to be in kind of a situation early on. I think the only race that would claim this is the Cordrazine, but it's so close to my homeworld, it would just be stupid if they try to place claim rights. So we've already taken out the big ships, and all that's left is small little guardians. So we've pretty much got this fight dominated. It didn't look like we really lost any, maybe one fighter. They'll repair. We're going to send them back to rearm and reload, basically at our homeworld, because that's the only planet we have right now to do such things. The first group actually doesn't use ammo-based. They're all energy-based weapon systems, so they actually don't need to reload. But my first ships are all ammo-based, and they use those Gatling cannons, and they are ammo-based, and they have to rearm somewhere, so that we're going to send them back to the homeworld. And there we go. We just captured our first planet, and we're dropping down on another anomaly, and holy crap. So we got ourselves another drone cruiser. We're actually +1 from the last Let's Play series, and now we have 4 drone cruisers and our main capital ship, and we just have enough to just get things done for real. So now that we have that planet colonized, I'm going to go ahead and set this up for a core world, and I basically like to let the AI just kind of build everything for me. In a lot of other 4X games, it's usually bad to let the AI just go ahead and manage your colonies, but in this game, it's really well done. They build all the appropriate things and pretty much build everything that needs to get built, and I think it works very well in this system, and I like how you don't have to sit there and babysit everything. It's distracting, especially when you have just a bunch of stuff going on in the background here. This game's more combat orientated, and we're getting to that point now where we're doing the big combat stuff, and it's freaking awesome, and I love it. So that first combat was essentially a test to see if we're capable of taking down the Guardians, and we did it without any problem, so we're probably not going to have very much problem capturing the high tier planets at the beginning, and I suspect that the AI races do not have this capability yet, and this is where we are going to separate the domineers from the dominated. Another thing that's nice about doing this rapid capture and explore thing is we can really see what the other races are probably going to grab, what they're going to be capable of. Sometimes you get a kind of a misconception of how powerful a race actually is. You might see they have 5 or 6 star systems, but if you actually take a look down to the nitty gritty, if they're all garbage star systems, you have nothing to worry about, especially if you play with this particular strategy where you're capturing the high tier or highest tier planets in the game, and that's what I do. So the planet we just captured is just as capable as my homeworld is. It may even be possible to grow larger than my homeworld. Probably not, though. After we get the biosphere technology, my homeworld will probably grow just a little bit more. But it's good to have that secondary world. And then now we're just going to have to start thinking about housekeeping things like getting our transports and that sort of thing built. But I'm probably not going to be doing that for a little bit here because we still have some anomalies to hunt down. We want to make sure we get everything and do a nice thorough sweep and make sure all of it's done and we can move on to the next stage. So very soon you may see the AI have the radar range increasing and stuff. They're probably going to start building star lanes, and that's something we may consider doing, but I have a bad experience of building star lanes. And what do you want, polyps? They want a non-aggression pact with me, and they fear me, which is a bad sign because they may actually do that Federation thing I was talking about in the other beginning of that Let's Play series that we just restarted. Now, the thing with the star lanes. Now, they're supposed to make your ships be able to travel faster because it's in your sphere of influence, but it turns out that they don't. Now, I don't know if this has been corrected in the later versions of the game, but it annoys me to no end, and that's why I typically don't build the star lanes. This is what happens. You build star lanes, and they set up basically a little remote station, and it kind of connects your planets together, and it just connects the sphere of influence. But what I don't like is, especially with transports, is they tend to stop at every single station, which actually makes it take more time for them to get from point A to point B than it would if you didn't have the star lane there at all. So I typically don't build them because they actually slow things down and not speed things up. And now we have another ship. This is the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen in a game, period, that I played of this. Okay, so we are now at 5? 6 drone cruisers? I don't know how I don't know how they're going to be able to, the AI is even going to be able to manage that. So somebody is not going to last very long, that's for sure. I'm probably going to form up groups and take out one of the races really early on in the game. You'll probably see that in possibly even the next episode. We'll see. So we're pretty much nearing the first 43 minutes of gameplay. This has almost been real time the entire time, with the exception of the hyperspace flux that happened in the last episode, and we've pretty much got almost the entire map uncovered. We're going to do our final sweeps here to grab the last few anomalies that we've uncovered on the board, and then we are going to move on to the next phase, which is our Conquest phase. Well, it's probably going to be more of a hybrid phase. Oh, we just got another... Well, that's an alright anomaly. I can't believe we just got another good thing there. So that is a 10% hit point bonus to my modules. If I couldn't get any more ridiculous, there it is. Right though, hybrid phase. Basically, we're going to take planets as we go engage other things. So we're pretty much going to do our planet grab, and at the same time, we're conquering other races. It's going to be a crazy situation. It's not typically what I usually do, because I'm usually not this powerful this early in the game, and I need to take advantage of it for certain. So yeah, we're probably going to colonize the other races' homeworlds, and that's one of the things I said is possible in my strategies, and that's exactly actually what's going to happen during this Let's Play. So now I just got to think about who I'm taking out first and who I want to leave lingering around towards the end stages of the game. Who's the most threat to me and who's not. Also, don't take the non-aggression pact with the other races as to be a concrete thing. I will backstab them in a heartbeat. The Cordrazine, yeah, I have a non-aggression. The Polyps, yeah, I have a non-aggression. But it doesn't mean I won't go after them. I probably should consider taking down the Volfrin, but I'm probably going to go and hit the Dreylox first and take them out. It depends on who's in the nearest. It's pretty much the Dreylox or the Cordrazine. Those are the two races that are the closest to me, and I'm probably going to head to the Dreylox because they're in that nice separated area of space, and it's pretty much the back half there, and I'll have to backtrack if I go towards them afterwards, so I'm going to hit them first, most likely. And with that, pretty much concludes this episode. Thank you for watching the DX Gamer Show and my Stardrive Let's Play. I'll see you guys Friday for the next episode. See you guys later, and take care.